Hi everyone, and welcome to topic 4, solving equations with variables on each side. So our steps are not that different from what we've done before. The only difference is we have the same variable and we have them on each side of the equal sign. So that's something that we haven't seen before yet. So when we see that, we need to get those variables on the same side. It's essentially combining like terms. We just need them on the same side in order to combine them. So when we get the variables on one side, we have to get all the other numbers on the other side. We do both of these things by using opposite operations. Then we can solve for the variable. So if you guys look at the first one, we have a 2x on one side and an x on the other. Because this is a positive x, there's not a negative sign in front of it. In order to move that, we need to do the opposite operation. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So if we subtract an x, we need to subtract an x from the other side. So we get 2x plus 1 minus x equals x minus x is 0 plus 11. Next, if you look at that second bullet, we need to get all the numbers on the other side. So I need to move that 1 from the left to the right. And since I'm adding 1, the opposite operation is to subtract it. So I have 2x minus x equals 11 minus 1. Now that we have all our like terms on one side or the other, we can combine them. So 2x minus x is just 1x, and 11 minus 1 is 10. So we solved for x. We got x by itself, and we got it equal to 10. So if we look on the next one, we see that we again have a variable on both sides of that equation. So what we need to do is move things around. Now what I like to do is when I move my variables, I like to always have a positive variable. So if I were to subtract 8a from both sides, I would get a negative a, and I don't really want to do that. So what I'm going to do is instead of moving the a from right to left, I'm going to move the a from left to right. It doesn't matter. You will get the same answer. Because this is a positive 5a, I need to subtract 5a from both sides. Those cancel, and then I get negative 3 equals 8a minus 5a is positive 3a plus 6. Now the next step I can do is move my numbers to the other side. So I move my variables to the right, so I'm going to move my numbers to the left. And in order to do that, I apply the opposite operation to both sides. The 6's are going to cancel. Negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9, and that's going to be equal to 3a. In order to get a by itself, I must do the opposite operation. 3 is being multiplied by a, so the opposite is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3, and 3a divided by 3, those 3's cancel, and we get a by itself. It doesn't matter what side of the equation it's on as long as the variable is alone. So a's by itself doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. If we look at the bottom left example, we see that we're going to have to do the distributive property first. 2 times 6m is 12m. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. That's equal to 8m. So there's two things I can do. I can either move my 12m to the other side, which might be a little less steps, so I'm going to do that. Or we could have subtracted 8m and then added 2, but I'm going to subtract 12m since the negative 2 is already a number and there's nothing to combine it with. So if I subtract 12m from both sides, those are going to cancel. I get negative 2 equals 8m minus 12m. m stays the same, and I get negative 4. Negative 4 is being multiplied by m. So I need to undo it by using division. So what I have right now, I'm going to rewrite it for you guys, is we have negative 2 equals negative 4m. My operation, I need to undo it, so I'm going to divide by the coefficient, negative 4. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is just 1, so m's by itself. Negative 2 over negative 4 is going to be a positive, and then 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2. It is okay to have fractions as answers, people. It is okay. The last example is super fun. We get to distribute twice. So let's go ahead and do it. 2 times s is 2s. 2 times 11 is positive 22. And then the other side, let's go ahead and distribute. 5 times s is 5s. And 5 times 2 is 10. Now, I have something that looks like the first example. I have one variable and one number on one side, one variable, one number on the other. So what I need to do is get my variables on one side and get my numbers on the other. So in order to keep a positive coefficient, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2s from both sides. I get 22 equals 3s plus 10. My next step is since I move my variable from the left to right, I need to move my regular number from the right to left. The opposite of addition is subtraction, so 10 minus 10 is 0, those will cancel. And I'm left with 22 minus 10, which is 12, equals 3s. I'm really running out of room, so let's go over here. 3 is being multiplied by s, so we need to divide both sides by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, so s is finally alone.